big amount of social media comment that the Chief Justice of India is so arrogant that he got up in the midst of an argument, an important argument in the court. But I didn't leave the court, I only shifted my position in the chair. But I was subject to vicious abuse, trolling, the knives were out, but I do believe that our shoulders are broad enough. As Chief Justice of India, I see so many lawyers and litigants crossing the line when they speak to us in the court. I'm particularly pleased to see the inclusion of a session focused on work-life balance and stress management. The capacity to manage stress is significant in the life of a judge, especially for district judges. As judicial officers, you regularly engage with vulnerable litigants, many of whom look to you for justice. Many of the people who come to us are stressed about the injustice which has been caused to them. And sometimes in their dealings with us as judges, they cross the line. As Chief Justice of India, I see so many lawyers and litigants crossing the line when they speak to us in the court. The answer when these litigants cross the line is not to use the power of contempt, but to understand why they have crossed the line. There must be some deep-rooted injustice which they are confronting, which is why they sometimes say things which they do not otherwise want to say, as so many times happens within our own families. In these contexts, the responsibility you carry is immense, necessitating a calm and compassionate approach. Maintaining a work-life balance is integral to fulfilling these duties effectively. A judge who is overwhelmed with work and unable to prioritize personal time with family and self-care may struggle to perform optimally. Therefore, the ability to manage stress and achieve work-life balance is not separate from, but rather intertwined with delivering justice completely. They always tell physicians and surgeons, "Physician, heal thyself." Because before you heal others, you must learn how to heal yourself. The same is true about judges as well. You heal others. You bring peace to conflicting disputes and disputants. But you must first learn to heal yourself when you heal others. We live in difficult times. We live in times of the social media where work which we do is being constantly assessed. The Supreme Court of India has put all its important hearings on a live streaming platform, and we are watched all over the country. But we can also be trolled as a result of that. I'll just give you one example. Just 4 or 5 days ago, when I was hearing a case, I had a little pain in the back. So all that I did was, I placed my elbows in my armchair in the court, and I just shifted my position in the chair. That video was doctored so as to delete that part of what followed thereafter. And there was a big amount of social media comment that the Chief Justice of India is so arrogant that he got up in the midst of an argument, an important argument in the court. What they didn't tell you was that all that he did was only to shift his position in the chair. 24 years of judging can be a little strenuous, as I have put in. But I didn't leave the court, I only shifted my position in the chair. But I was subject to vicious abuse, trolling, the knives were out, but I do believe that our shoulders are broad enough. And the ultimate confidence which we have is of common citizens in the work which we do. But I understand that this is the position of the Chief Justice of India. Judges in taluka courts don't have the kind of protection which we have. I've heard of stories where in my parent state, the state of Maharashtra, a young judge, Civil Judge Junior Division, is told by a member of the bar, "If you don't behave with me, I'll ensure that the High Court transfers you from this station." In other states, when I was Chief Justice of the state of Uttar Pradesh, the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad, there were some stories which I constantly heard every day about the manner in which young judges, middle-level judges and senior judges were treated. You are blessed to belong to a state where these stories are only heard about and not witnessed during your day-to-day work. But I do understand the difficulties through which you travel when you do your work every day. Although there are points of convergence, most of the problems plaguing the district courts significantly differ from those affecting the high courts and the Supreme Court. In fact, given the plurality of experiences in our country, the issues faced by one district court are often incomparable even with the court in the neighboring district. A famous American statistician has said, "In God we trust. All others must bring data." For a long period, our inability to address the diverse problems affecting the district judiciary arose from the lack of data on the cases, pendency, and infrastructural gaps in the district courts across the country. Today, the National Judicial Data Grid, or NJDG, acts as a comprehensive database, providing real-time data on district courts on an online platform. The poem which I just narrated of Dr. Shivaram Karanth, what Dr. Shivaram Karanth says is, for the bird sitting on the tree, there is no fear of falling because of the branch breaking. The bird trusts its wings and not the branch. Similarly, we should always have confidence in our own abilities. As judicial officers, each one of you must keep these words of Dr. Karanth in mind. You have been endowed with an important responsibility to do justice without fear or favor. And please remember this: without fear or favor, when you decide to grant bail to people who are yearning for the grant of personal liberty. Do it without favor, but equally important, do it without fear. Have faith. Have faith in your abilities and do not hesitate to make bold decisions while adjudicating the cases before you. The branches beneath your wings, the High Court and the Supreme Court, are there to support you, but you must also have confidence in your own ability to soar. So then may I conclude by saying, Nimma mundina prayatnagalali nanu nimage shubha haraisutene.
ಸಿಯಾನ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮುಕ್ತ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮವನ್ನು ಬೆಂಬಲಿಸಿ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.